Hi,
Hi,
Sophie. Great.
hi.
How are you?
I'm
Great.
doing well. How's it in Zimbabwe? What time is it over there?
It's almost like it's almost like 2 past 10 evening.
Wow. What does your day look like as Anyasha? What was going on today?
I didn't have much on the day because I think it's the opening day of the school this side.
Mm.
So I had to go to the national sports. Then I had to be home. So it was not that much hectic for me, but it was great. It was amazing, and yeah, that's the way to go.
Awesome. I'm honored to be here and be a part of your new initiative with creating a podcast. Do you want to talk about what inspired you to do that and what you want for this podcast and why you chose me? I don't know. I'm honored to be chosen, though.
Wow, like sometimes people like you are amazing. You might think you're not
You are.
making a difference, but your passion, your sacrifice that you did, like creating a group at a school, at a high school, and also influencing to join a bigger organization such as Special Olympics to become youth advocate for that amazing, powerful movement. And uh, you are a person who thinks of others highly more than yourself. So it's rare to see people like you. So I think you on the board with this podcast will go a long way to have a positive influence amongst the youth, and also to show that the world is better when people uh, get out of their comfort zone and try to help others to be the best that they can be in their respective uh, endeavors, in their respective talents that they're good at. And thank you for being a torch bearer to not to just to Special Olympics, but to the youth in your community, to the youth in your school, to the youth in your college. And I saw it as the best fit for you to maybe to partner in this initiative so that we see our voices ahead, because I think there's power in our ways, there's power in our ideas, there's power in our vision, and uh, hence why choosing you, Sophie, and myself. I think I've decided to start this podcast as the voice of the voiceless, and to bring out those voices that are not heard, that are suffering or on a daily basis, trying to get out of that zone that is not being heard and trying to be heard. So I think this podcast will be focusing much more on the people that are on the sidelines and the people who are also on the front lines, so that how best they can come together on the same platform and see how best they can solve problems together, because we have got a problem as human beings. As human beings, we we judge each other without knowing what other people are going through. We judge people because of their action, but we don't realize what has led them to do some kinds of action that they are doing. Maybe there's a reason behind. But I think with this podcast, we deep dive, we dig into what is the root cause of the things that we are facing on a daily lives, maybe problems, challenges, and how best we can come on the same table and to air out issues and make sure that we solve them through this podcast.
Wow. As you can see, everyone, how eloquent and powerful Anyasha's voice is, and I so admire him and am so grateful that I get to like hear him speak and one day hopefully have such a like incredible um voice. I'm still finding my voice if you can't tell, so bear with me. I do want to just say he mentioned a little aspect of like you never know what's going on in people's life. So just a very small example happened earlier. Like we were supposed to have this meeting earlier today, and Anyasha was being very accommodating because of the time zone. He's going to try and meet when I can do it. And I didn't have any communication from him. I was like, oh, what happened? Like, I wasn't mad or anything. But then I find out that his electricity was out. So it's just having grace and patience with people and understanding, like, there's so many different walks of life and different experiences people have. Because I feel like I'm a very understanding, patient person, but I was like, oh, what happened? Like, we were supposed to meet. But I didn't have that, like, grasp that electricity can be out across the world in Zimbabwe. So just a little tidbit I thought of when you said that.
Oh, amazing. You know, you are in life, we are, despite what we have, maybe degrees, diplomas, whatever hierarchy we carry, we are all humans. We bleed, we cry, we've got emotions. That really tells us we are all human. We need each other.
Oh, amen. That's my new catchphrase.
So I think it will go a long way to it's not just like a podcast which is going to focus only on one region, but globally, worldwide. I believe we all have stories to tell. We all have something in common that we share, despite what we believe in, despite what we are all humans at the end of the day, and we need love. Love is a universal thing. We need to be cared for, and caring is a universal thing. Everyone wants to be known, want to be seen, want to be heard. That's a universal
Mm-hmm.
things that everyone wants to.
Yes, it is a universal theme of humanity, and
Yeah,
I I think um, not only with Special Olympics, but there are so many other outlets where you can give love to the most vulnerable populations that, like, don't usually experience it by just doing simple acts of kindness. I think a smile goes 100 miles. Like, goes. I find myself, like, smiling at people, and that person could have had a really hard day where they didn't feel seen, but just, like, having a stranger, like, make the effort to show that they're there and they're loved. That's such a great thing.
I think we are all agents of change. We are all
Oh
agents of
no.
change in one way or the other. We are agents of change, either of positive change or a negative change. But we are all heading to something which is called change. We are influencers in a positive way or in a negative way, depending on whom we influence with our action, either good or bad.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So having you on the board and other youth alongside globally, it will go a long way and have that massive impact that will change the world indeed.
Oh, I can't wait. If
You know, they
if
always
people don't know Anyasha, because he gave an intro to me that made me tear up, just was so kind and thoughtful. I am gonna try my best to give an intro to Anyasha because he's the most humble person ever. So he does all these amazing things, but he's just still treats everyone like a best friend, and it's incredible. Anyasha served as on the board of Special Olympics International as the Special Olympics athlete that represented world athletes worldwide. I don't know how many athletes. So he was their voice and ensured that everyone who had different things they want to be brought up to the board, that they were represented. He was on Shriver's I don't know what team, I guess. So he was basically had an influence in conversations with Timothy Shriver, whose mom started the whole initiative. And not only does he do these things, he's very active in his local community, for getting the youth active within inclusion. Because and the other aspect that I find even more incredible about my friend is that his circumstances growing up didn't stop him from being who he is. He was, if you don't mind me talking about, or you want to talk about like your upbringing of like to show like how what is possible. If you want to, do you want me to? Okay.
Yes, fine.
Oh, well, he, from what he's told me is that in his community, disability was scorned upon. It was like he was seen like he had it was didn't they say they thought there was like the devil or something with me, like something like pretty intense like
Bully,
that.
bullied, stereotyped.
Very stereotyped. His family, he didn't have much family support, if any. And then just like the circumstances over in Zimbabwe, in terms of resources, like he didn't have any of this. And he found sport, which was his vehicle to kind of get involved, and then finally got involved with Special Olympics, where they saw that he had a gift of, if you can't tell, his speaking is just, it's just like it captivates you as an audience. Like you just want to like listen to him all day, and like you can feel his emotions and his belief in you and the world. So if I summed it up as best as I could, but yeah. And now, and if we want to touch a little bit on where he is now, like what we do now, you want to like give an update of what you do now, and then I will give an update just so people understand like who we are at this moment in time in terms of what we're doing.
Well, amazing. And what we're doing right now is to create a podcast that will highlight people's success stories. Mine I have with Special Olympics, and they have really helped me to become the best I am in whatever I do. And I've gained unstoppable, irresistible self-confidence, and I've managed to travel worldwide, meeting presidents, policymakers, and I found my voice within that movement. So I think they've invested a lot in me in leadership style. In that, I'm super grateful, and I've seen that I found my voice now, and we need to empower more youth, more people, and so that they really understand the power that lies within everyone else around the globe. And I always say to people that no one is too small to make a difference. If you think you're too small to make a difference, try to sleep with a mosquito. So
Well, I love that metaphor. Wow, that's true.
So in one way or the other, we are agents of change, as I said earlier. And I think through this podcast, it will really help people to realize, to understand that there is power that lies within each and every one of us.
Amen again. Yeah.
This,
I just wanted to give a little what's it called? A little anecdote about like where Special Olympics can take people. So like how it happened for Anyasha. I have a friend, hopefully we'll get him on here, Keandre. Special Olympics took him to Germany. Without Special Olympics, he probably would have had not those opportunities to maybe even get out of the city he grew up in. And also, I was able to meet him, and I like being involved with Special Olympics helped me find my passion and like future career with occupational therapy, which I'm in grad school for. And I'll always be involved with Special Olympics in some capacity. But because of like the small actions of Kiki, when I met, that's how it's just crazy, like the butterfly effect. Kiki randomly came up to me and asked if I played flag football, and I was like, I did in high school. He's like, come to our table. And he's one of the athletes. It was Special Olympics. And then because I was in Special Olympics, I found out about occupational therapy, and because of all these connections and got me jobs. And then I met one of my best friends, Joey, who I'm a companion to. But like if Kiki never came up to me that day, I would have never maybe, even met. And like we probably would have never met. So it's crazy how that happens. Hi. But yeah. Do you want to close out here, Anyasha, and then we can maybe
Wanna close on something? I think there's something here.
Ooh, what's he showing us? Oh, the t-shirt I gave him. Wait, show the front. I still wear. Aw, you kept it. So Anyasha and I did a trade we met at USA Games, and that was your idea, right? To like trade something so we would have like something from each other's community. So I gave him that. That's actually hard to find. Like that's against logo policy, so they don't make those anymore. So you got one of a kind t-shirt right there. And he gave me the Special Olympics Zimbabwe sweatshirt that I wear all the time. So that's so special. No pun intended.
Yeah, this is a resemblance of unfamily and the resemblance of a true leader within you, Sophie. And thank you for being a leader. I want to tell you that your kindness, your goodness will go a long way in making it.
And yours too. That's how we met, because I didn't know about concierge. So I was carrying all these bags, and then he just smiled at me. I smiled back, and he came up to me. He's like, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "Sure." And then we started talking. So because of your kindness to help me just carry my bags, it led to a lifelong friendship, and now we're here. Incredible.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
So
I hope you're doing well in Tampa Bay, right?
Yes. In Tampa Bay, good memory. It's getting warm out here. You was that 2 years ago we were in Orlando, or 3 now?
It's 2 years, 2022.
It's 2 years. Wow, time flies. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I'll stop recording now, but you can chat and talk about how this went. How do I stop recording? Oh, stop.